G'day everybody. I want to talk about inflation that we've had since the dark ages, and the deflation problem that we're having hasn't changed. It just changes in different ways of wanting things to make the inflation, right? Back in the old days, inflation used to happen only on certain things. Certain things used to just be expensive. It was harder to get, so there wasn't so much called inflation when it come to a lot of things. It was mostly just for wood and food and clothing and things that you can grow that humans could mostly make back then. And then there was just the rich items, which were diamonds and jewelries and swords and stuff like that. And they could also come at a cost for the poor people too. But they could also make it because they had a lot of tools to just make things like that back then. And so the inflation couldn't affect that area, because if you got the capability of making metal things, so you have your own area where you do that, then that won't bother you in that sector so much for your people. So if you have your own food, when food costs go up, it wouldn't bother you because you can produce your own food, right? But back then, what used to happen in wars, and how could you control people besides using sword force and domination, right? So how do you flush them out, stuff like that? How do you make big groups hard for them so they can bend to your will, so you can come in and go, look, I'll make it easy for you now, right? Is that you burn crops, you make it hard so there was never big areas of food, so that it had to be in small areas and small people, so you're breaking up forces, so it makes it easy for you to dominate if they're all in small forces. Or they have to get together, as you see in movies, and they did over time, to combat something. But the only thing we haven't changed is the control part of the upper class all the time when it comes to food. They always use, when humans need food or water, we go crazy. We'll listen to anything for that. That's the true fact of life and what we need to live. That's the most important thing. And so you wouldn't say society's getting somewhere unless they can perfect that thing. Right? Then they can move on. That thing's perfected. They do it so well, they've got more than enough all the time. So if things go wrong, they've always got more than enough, which is what we can do. But we don't, because there's certain sectors and areas and groups that like to control and dominate, and will create problems, allow problems to happen, not look at the problem properly, to let the problem occur as they can control and dominate and let things go bad so they can control and dominate by creating food and water shortages. And what are we getting today still? Food and water shortages. We have it off and on. It goes good when we get our shit together because we can do it, right? And then we have times where we don't. So why is that happening? That's what we're going to make sure our leaders never do again. So if we ever want this problem to stop, one day we need to force these laws, I guess, right? That these should never falter, should never get too low, should never have less farmers than what we need and stuff like that. We should always promote these sectors first and make sure that these sectors are doing quite well before we worry about any other sector. True? I just solved the problem of world hunger. So why won't that happen? If it doesn't happen, it's because of what I've just talked about, that nothing's ever changed since the dark ages. And they just want to control and dominate you by not allowing you to have certain rules. And they'll add that rule, they'll make shortages, right? And then you'll get rules that you can't be on that land, they own it, and this and that. And it's the same thing, isn't it? From back in the day when you used to hear Robin Hood, and he was seeing people just hunting and trying to live because these people were dominating. They own everything, and if you say they don't, they'll come with their army. Same with the governments today. What's happening now? They don't get what they want, a government will come after you. They'll attack each other. Right? Where's the peace? Where's the smartness that we're all meant to be? Where's the connection? You know what I can see though? I can see the old barbaric us and the same traits that we've always kept on doing. So how are we going to get out of it? Anyway, I'll leave it there. I know exactly how we get out of it. We all know. But will we do it? Will we have enough people in certain areas that can actually make a difference? Speak about these things. so they never bother us again, and not just speak about them for a position, but be permanently spoken about and be. Have a good one, and bye bye.